The Old Testament reading scheduled for the lectionary for November the 13th comes from Isaiah chapter 65, 17 through 25. Isaiah can basically be divided into two sections. The first section goes from chapter 1 to chapter 34. In this section, all the reasons for God's judgment upon the tribe of Judah is given. The sacrifices, the blue moon, the forgetting to take care of the widows and orphans, along with the judgments of the surrounding areas and how they have broken their relationship with God and why they deserve punishment. All of this is to lead up to the Babylonian captivity. And so between these sections, between chapter 35, which introduces the next section, and chapter 40, is an exact recount of 1 Kings and the issue with Hezekiah, and we kind of get a look at what's happening politically. But if you wanted to read Isaiah, you'd take out chapter 36, 37, 38, 39 temporarily and read chapter 35 and then go to chapter 40. The flow is much smoother. And what it is talking about is God's mercy after the captivity. When the captivity is done, when the punishment has been fully experienced, then a road in the desert will be made straight. The highway for the king will be established. And on that highway, people will be able to return safely. And so you have this image of God's mercy. But God's just not going to be merciful and do like the book of Job, where suddenly at the end of the book, everything that was lost automatically gets restored, even better, and it's a happily ever after. No. God is going to restore the people, but He's going to restore the people into a new reality, into a new relationship. The first relationship failed, not from God's perspective, but from humans' ability to live up to remembering that God is God and they are not. And so you have this theme that God is going to do a new thing. In chapter 42, verse 9, "See, the former things have come to pass. New things I now declare." And the people will sing a new song. Chapter 43, verse 19, "I'm about to do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Don't you perceive it?" In chapter 48, 6, "From this time forward, I make you hear new things, hidden things, that you have not known." What happened in the past? What made their minds dull and their ears closed and their eyes shut, as described in chapter 6:10, will now be removed, and God is going to restore. And so this chapter 65, verse 17 begins, "I'm about to create a new heaven and a new earth." This same new heaven, the same new earth theme is repeated at the end of Revelation. And when you look at Revelation, it in a lot of ways parallels this idea of Isaiah. Much shorter book, but in a way it parallels. John is called to witness to the tribulation. Isaiah is called to witness to the tribulation. Various judgments are laid out upon Judah and the surrounding area. In Revelation, John is given judgments upon the churches. And then the judgment occurs. But in the end, there's a new heaven and a new earth. here in 65. There's a new heaven and a new earth. And the wars and the tribulation shall end. God is not just establishing a new relationship with the people. He's not establishing a new covenant with a group of people. God is recreating and reestablishing the relationship with all of creation, so that the wolf and the lamb, the lion and the ox, there is no prey and predator, but rather there will be peace and harmony and shalom, as it was in the Garden of Eden. There will be no more weeping or crying or mourning, and death shall be no more. This idea of the survival of the fittest is over. All will live in peace and have enough to eat, have enough shelter, have their needs met, for God will be with them, and there will be peace, and there will be no more hurt or destruction on God's holy mount. Like Revelation 21, Isaiah says that when the second coming, the second age occurs, the old age and all that's associated with it will pass away.